This is a bird. It stood taller than you, ran faster than a horse, and ruled South America for 60 million years. For over 60 million years, South America was owned by giant, flightless killer birds. Not lions, not wolves, not saber-toothed cats. Birds. Some standing taller than a grown man, with a skull built like a war axe. Scientists call them Phorusrhacidae. Everyone else just calls them terror birds. And for most of the age of mammals, they were the most dangerous animals on the entire continent. Here's the twist almost nobody knows. Birds are dinosaurs. Not descended from them, not related to them. Literally, technically, biologically, still dinosaurs. The last surviving lineage of theropods. The same family tree as Velociraptor and Tyrannosaurus. So, when the asteroid wiped out their giant cousins 66 million years ago, one branch of small feathered survivors was left standing in the ashes, and in South America, isolated from the rest of the world, they didn't stay small for long. Let's set the stage. After the extinction, South America broke away and became an island continent, completely cut off from North America for tens of millions of years, the same way Australia is isolated today. No lions could swim across, no wolves could walk in. The usual mammal predators that dominate the rest of the world simply never showed up. So nature filled the empty throne with whatever was available. In Australia, it was giant marsupials. In South America, it was birds who forgot how to fly and grew into monsters instead. Meet Kelenken. Its fossil skull alone measures over 70 centimeters long, the largest bird skull ever discovered, attached to a neck built like a steel cable and legs designed for one purpose: running prey down and never letting it escape. Terror birds couldn't fly, but they didn't need to. Some species are estimated to have sprinted at speeds rivaling a modern horse. Imagine something the height of a doorway, sprinting toward you at 60 kilometers per hour, with a beak shaped like a meat cleaver. That was an average Tuesday in prehistoric South America. And the way they killed wasn't just brute force. It was precision. Scientists studying the skull of Andalgalornis, one of the mid-sized terror birds, discovered something unexpected. Its neck wasn't built for flexibility. It was built rigid and reinforced, almost like a hammer handle. Researchers now believe terror birds hunted using a strike-and-retreat technique, repeatedly hacking down at prey with quick, powerful strikes of the head, like swinging an axe, then pulling back before the prey could fight back. This wasn't a bird pecking at food. This was a calculated, repeated execution technique, refined over millions of years of evolution. And terror birds weren't alone at the top. South America, cut off from the rest of the world, became an entire laboratory of substitute predators filling the roles that lions and wolves fill everywhere else. There were saber-toothed marsupials like Thylacosmolus, with canine teeth even longer proportionally than an actual saber-toothed cat. Except it wasn't a cat at all, completely unrelated, evolving the exact same deadly design independently. This is called convergent evolution. When nature keeps reinventing the same successful weapon, giant stabbing teeth in this case, again and again, in completely different family trees, because it simply works. For tens of millions of years, terror birds and their bizarre marsupial rivals ruled a hidden world completely disconnected from everything happening in Africa, Asia, or North America. While elephants and big cats were evolving up north, South America was living in its own separate universe of monsters, cut off by open ocean on all sides. But isolation never lasts forever. About 3 million years ago, tectonic forces slowly pushed up a strip of land connecting North and South America. Today, we call it the Isthmus of Panama. For the first time in over 60 million years, when two completely separate worlds of animals could finally walk into each other. Scientists call what happened next the Great American Interchange. Saber-toothed cats, bears, wolves, and other North American predators streamed south, while South American natives, like giant ground sloths and armadillo relatives, pushed north. For decades, the textbook version of this story was simple. Northern predators were superior, they invaded, and terror birds, along with most of South America's native predators, were wiped out in the crossfire. But here's the twist scientists uncovered more recently. That simple story might be wrong. Fossil evidence now suggests most terror bird species were already in decline, and many had gone extinct before the land bridge even fully formed. The invasion might not be the villain of this story at all. And there's an even bigger twist. The invasion wasn't one-sided. Far more South American species successfully migrated north and thrived. Possums, porcupines, and armadillos all pushed into North America and survived long-term. Then northern species that permanently established themselves in the south. In other words, the losers of the Great American Interchange might not be who we were taught. And one terror bird refused to accept defeat entirely. Titanus walleri, one of the last of its kind, actually walked north across the new land bridge, and its fossils have been found as far away as Texas and Florida. For a brief moment in prehistory, a terror bird was hunting on North American soil, in the same era as saber-toothed cats and dire wolves. So, what finally ended the terror birds for good? Not a single dramatic invasion, but a slow, complicated mix of climate shifts, changing habitats, and new competition. The same quiet forces that end most dynasties in nature. By around 1.8 million years ago, the last terror birds vanished completely. A 60 million year reign ended not by one asteroid, one predator, or one battle, but by the slow rearrangement of an entire planet. Here's the part that should really make you think. For most of the time, mammals have existed on Earth. The largest, deadliest predator on an entire continent wasn't a mammal at all. It was a bird. We tend to assume today's rulers, lions, wolves, bears, were always destined to be on top. Terror birds prove that's an illusion. Dominance isn't permanent. It's just whoever evolution hands the crown to next. Until the map changes, and the crown gets handed somewhere else entirely. So, which is wilder to you? A 3-meter-tall killer bird hunting at highway speeds, or the fact that it might have lost to opossums crossing in the other direction? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe for more prehistoric monsters Hollywood never told you about.